on the Grand Strand, but in the world. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, The Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. We'll be talking with Blake Sloan coming up in mere seconds. In the meantime, let me give you some contact information because there's going to be so much great things you're going to be hearing over the next 30 minutes. You're going to say, hey, I need to know more information about that. So it's easy to do. Call Blake at his office at Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. Or you can go online simply to blakesloan.com. BlakeSloan.com. We'll repeat that info a lot over the next 30 minutes. In the meantime, to get the show started, here's Blake Sloan.
Good morning, everyone. Got an awesome show. Tons of great information. This is our 39th straight COVID Corona edition. Just talking about what's happening here in the marketplace and, 39 straight week in a row dealing with this here locally. And we'll just talk about a lot of great things. Some big time news just here locally, also on a national level. Some exciting stuff that we'll talk about. The brand new numbers for anyone that missed last week's show. They're coming in even better as more data has been put in, which is great. Month supply, aka the amount of homes for sale right now, is down 50+% from where it was the same month last year. And so we're hitting new records in regards to the inventory crisis we're having right now, which we'll talk a little bit more about as well. We'll also talk about a national report that just came out saying why it makes sense to sell your home during the holiday season, just kind of based on some of these unique things going on with both interest rates, inventory being low, and kind of that perfect storm I mentioned before. Also, it's really cool for us here in Myrtle Beach, a new national report out just showing how the ability for people to work remotely has drastically increased home sales in vacation markets across the country. And it's crazy. Some of the stats are just almost staggering in a way, just kind of looking at what's happening, where how many more people are buying, how they're able to work remotely, and how a lot of people are able to do that long term, which is just super great news for everyone, obviously, in Myrtle Beach. And so great stuff there overall as well. Also, some amazing success stories. Our team's been crushing it. We just had a new record this week. I think Susan, our closing coordinator, has 34 deals that she's processing just from the last week, which is huge. Everybody getting some of those end of year numbers in, which is crazy. And so that's something that's great news for everyone there. As usual, also have a fund I represent with millions of dollars that looks to buy properties as is outright. Anybody needs to sell any type of distress situation. Also, any type of things where you don't want to have to fix anything up, we can have someone buy it out instantly for you. And we'll talk about more of that at the end of the show as well.
All right, sounds good. We're just getting started. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you want to know who this Blake Sloan guy is. Well, he's been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, other national publications as well. If you're more of a TV person, well, he's been on TV as well with NBC and also with Fox and Friends Morning Show. A personal endorsement, you've heard those on this very radio station from Sean Hannity, from Glenn Beck, also from Gary LeBox, Barbara Corcoran, and others. Put them all together, it's unprecedented in the world of real estate. Now, in addition to that, Blake has his own trademark systems that he uses for home buyers and home sellers. Can't give you all the details about all those, but is more than happy to tell you the most important part.
Yes, as usual, I made a commitment a while ago that this kind of thing is just the DNA of our show. Really, the main reason why we do that show is just to explain this one thing, because I see so many horror stories. We shared a massive horror story on the show last week where an agent didn't even put their house on the market for 3 months. That was, high-end home sitting vacant. They didn't even know it. And so you see so many of these things happen over and over, especially when you're in the business. But it comes down to the huge mistake that consumers make. They make a mistake of thinking that all realtors are the same or all real estate agents are the same. And it could not be, any further from the truth. That comes the same with any doctor, any lawyer, right? You're charged with a crime you did not commit. The last thing you want is some attorney who just practices a couple cases a year and does it part-time, right? You want the absolute best, who's fanatical about what they do, obsessed with what they do, and obsessed with being the best. It's the same thing that you want and deserve when you're dealing with, for most people, one of their largest assets. And so it comes on this one thing. The single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only. That thing is the agent you choose, period. Nothing else, right? Not the grass color, not the wall color. Comes down to the agent you choose. And why that is, because when you're selling a property, there's 118 different variables from A to Z. If each one's handled correctly, guess what that does? Puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point, that costs you money, costs you hard in equity. It could be anything, like the example, agent doesn't put your property into MLS for a while, right? It could be, does the agent answer the telephone when someone calls a for sale sign? How long does it take them to respond to a web lead? What do the photos look online? What is the order of the photos online? Is it ordered so that buyers follow the flow and actually look at all of them? Because there's so many aspects that really have to be done right. to get the leverage you need. And so what most agents do is they just live by the 3 Ps. 1, they promise a will get listing. 2, they put it into the MLS. And 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're down the street trying to get the neighbor's listing. And so that's just how the industry's always been. And what we did is we saw a different way. We said, look, what if we can identify and reverse engineer every single aspect of the home sale process and create a system that's proven and repeatable that creates maximum leverage for our client? What that does is it gives them a competitive advantage in the process. And so thankfully we did that. It works very, very well. I designed it. We licensed other agents, other parts of the country, but it's called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well. And so the reality is you owe it to yourself to have a proven, repeatable system. You hear these examples of these success stories where houses sat in the market for 6 months. And last week we had one that was 12 months before they called us and we get it sold in a day or 2 weeks. There's a reason behind that. It's not just luck, right? There's a reason and a process that allow those things to happen. And you owe it to yourself to get that same type of process. On the flip side, guess what? There's 100+ variables for buyers out there. When you're buying a property, who you use is the most important thing when you're talking about making or breaking your success on the back end. So for home buyers out there, we create a same type system, right? It's called the Expert Advantage, basically unfair advantage home buying program. Sorry, I was thinking about the combination of you're doing buyer and seller at the same time. But bottom line is get you priority access to foreclosures, distress sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation, all the way through both purchase price as well as the home inspection to get you to the closing table. And so this is just something that we see over and over and over. I'll probably see 3 or 4 of those horror stories a week where it costs them tens of thousands of dollars. The last thing you want to do is get success in getting your property sold, but leave $15,000 on the table, right? And so if you want to know more about that, anyone you know that you come across, especially the holidays, have them call us, 843-808-SOLD. More than happy to explain that to you. And anyone that sees it usually absolutely blows their mind for sure.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're just getting started on the show. If you'd like to give Blake a call, like you just got done talking about, give him a call at 843-808-SOLD and find out more about what he was just saying. But you're going to want to know more about what's coming up here in just 1 minute. We've got the market update, find out what's happening right in your area, and we'll see what the rates are looking like this week, how much money you could be making or losing, depending upon how you manipulate those. But that's what Blake's here for, to do for you and make sure that you are getting the most money always. Listen in. That's all coming up in just a second. Give him a call, though, at 843-808-SOLD. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Hey, if you were in the market to make the most money for your home, Sean Hannity here with some important advice. Now, look, I'm an active investor. I have bought and sold a lot of properties in hot, cold, moderate markets. And one of the lessons I have learned is this. Hire the agent that knows how to create the most demand for your home. Now, if I needed to create demand in this market, no question, there's only one real estate agent I trust if I needed to sell my home. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. Now, he services the entire Myrtle Beach area, attracts hundreds of buyers every week, and sells a home on average every 24 hours. Now, that helps you generate multiple offers and sell your home for the most money possible. Plus, it's like getting an immediate offer on your home, because if your home doesn't sell for the price and the deadline you agree to, you will have it bought for cash, and he offers flexible fees. Find out how much demand your home can command right now. Call the agent that creates the most demand. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or online at blakesloan.com. That's blakesloan.com.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Myrtle Beach, I would hire Blake Sloan. His international marketing creates so much demand that if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, Blake will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Coming up on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan, we'll find out what the rates are looking like this week. In the meantime, let's find out what the market is looking like this week. What are you seeing, Blake?
Crazy hot still, which is nuts, right? So great news in the marketplace. We're still getting data in from last month. So right now, if you look at single family resale homes, right, basically all of November, some of that data is still coming in just because agents don't put it in immediately like they're supposed to. But sales last month up 23.3%. So awesome news. And that's on top of like month after month of increase, which is great. If you look at last year, there were 477 home sales. This year, 588 in that same month, which is awesome news there overall. If you look at sales price, also great news. Median sales price up 20%. So basically, across our area, median price up 20% from the same month last year, which is amazing. Median price right now, 275. Even, which is awesome. So if you look back at last year, it was only 228,000. Right now it's 275. So great news here overall for everyone, obviously, in regards to how much equity you have. The same thing for average sale price. Average sale price last month up 25.6%, just showing you kind of a reaction to obviously a super hot market right now. The average price, $344,000, which is, awesome to see. And really one of the most shocking numbers that we've seen the past few months is just inventory. Inventory, another record low, right at 2.3 months inventory right now. And we also just nationally, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, just hit a new low nationally for inventory. It's a crisis, not just here, but everywhere. And it's super, super low, right? An average market is about 6 months of inventory. Right now we're at 2.3. So you can see that, right? Usually, there's almost 3 times as amount to make it a healthy market. It's a crisis. And what that means is if you're a home seller, you have the advantage because there's a heck of a lot more buyers coming in than there is homes for sale. And so great news out there. We've been watching like crazy. We're selling stuff within hours. I just had one last night that we put active yesterday, blasted out to our buyers. We had 2 offers in less than 12 hours on that property and right at full price, which is amazing stuff. So that's just what we're seeing. And really, we're seeing an influx of buyers from all over the country, which I'll talk about in a second. We just put one under contract from someone from Seattle, Washington, that came here, which is, one of the furthest I've had in a while. We had Alaska once, but, Seattle, Washington, at least U.S. based. We get a lot of Europe stuff and China. But the reality is we're seeing a lot of people move here that normally wouldn't have in the past. And so great news overall as well. And the condo sales has been smoking too, which is awesome. It's great to see the numbers up. One of the biggest jumps I've seen in a long time in condo sales last month, 30.9%. So great news there. 538 condo sales for resale condos, which is awesome, which, obviously one of the things we're seeing there is price. Average sale price for condos up 13.2% last month, which is awesome. 191,617 is the average price. The median price for condos up 10.8% at 155,119. And so, man, what we've seen is as the inventory is dried up for single family homes, a lot of buyers, especially first and sometimes second home buyers, are moving from single family to condo just because there's more availability, or at least there was. And so we've seen a huge decrease in inventory there. There's still a little bit more than houses. So there's 3.6 months of inventory on the market right now in condos, but that's still a 26.5% decrease. And so you kind of see that happen. The great news about our market, though, the past 12 to 18 months is that the increase has been driven by single family. So it's a lot less speculation, a lot more people relocating second homes, which means it's much more stable long term. And so that's great news for everyone here overall. And the one thing too that is important to look at is buyer traffic, and that's continued to stay up because we all know that price is always a lagging indicator. And so one of the things that's huge is if you look at just last month, the amount of buyers in town looking at homes was up 61.5% from the same month. And so what does that mean? It means we're going to continue the same increase of sales this month, right? And most likely the next month as well as inventory continues to dwindle down. And so it's a great opportunity for home sellers. We've seen it spike up. We get a lot of buyers even this past week from North Carolina with frustrations of the tighter lockdowns. We're still seeing a lot of people from up north who are buying second homes here to kind of escape to or relocating in general. And so it's a great opportunity for us. But just thinking about, we always know that price is supply and demand based. So as supply is way down, demand is way up. You're going to see that lagging indicator be price. And so if you're a home seller, you want to take advantage and strike while the iron's hot. So one of the craziest numbers here, this whole last month is watching showings per listing, which is 8K, how many buyers are looking at properties, go up 61.5%. We watch that very, very closely because it helps us advise our clients much better to make better decisions. And even if you look at like the weekly numbers, we've been tracking, I told you during COVID, we started looking at how many new properties do go under contract each week. Used to be a good summer month was like 500 to 600. We hit 800 a week going under contract during the peak this summer, which is obviously one of the best years we've had in a long time. This last 7 days, 598 properties went under contract in December, which is very, very rare, right? Just shows you the urgency people have, a huge spike as interest rates just hit another all-time low this past week. And so like right now, the last 7 days, $160,960,006 went under contract. And so there's still a ton of properties being sold and going under contract this time of the year. Like I mentioned, we are one of the largest weeks we've ever had too. And so if you're thinking about selling, don't take the holiday brain, we call it, and don't think like that, because there's so much opportunity. One of the things driving that right now is interest rates. And so we just hit the new all-time low this past week. It hit 2.79% for a 30-year fixed rate. As of today, 2.80%. So right there at it. Obviously went down and back up this past week, but 2.80% right now for a 30-year fixed rate, which is huge, right? Amazing opportunity. So many people can own for less than they can rent, which is amazing. A 15-year fixed rate right now, 2.37%. A 30-year FHA loan, which is amazing, 2.32%. And a jumbo loan right now, 3.17%. And a 5-year adjustable rate mortgage right now is 2.46%. And so you're seeing a huge spike right now in buyers because rates scraping back low, all-time lows. People who missed out last time are jumping back in the game, and really people are making those moves. We also saw a massive spike in online traffic once it started getting snowstorms up north last week. All these things kind of drive that, where once pain's in place, you do see a lot of people locate down here. And so a great opportunity if you're a home seller to take advantage of all-time low interest rates. And really for us, record low inventory in regards to the amount of homes for sale right now.
All right, sounds good. We'll tell you what, coming up in just a second, we still got a lot of show to get to. We'll be looking at your hot buyers alert. We've got some great success stories, and hopefully not too many horror stories, but there are some of those, unfortunately, we'll maybe highlight a couple on how you can be a success rather than a horror story. That's all coming up in just a minute. If you'd like to get in touch with Blake Sloan, you can. Phone number is the same as always. It's 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD, or go online to blakesloan.com, blakesloan.com.
Hey, Myrtle Beach, Scare the Box, lead singer of Raps on Flats. When I'm moving on, won the award for ACM.
About 10 minutes or so, you
I was
think?
going to say you got quite a bit of time, about 10 and a half minutes.
Perfect. I got a couple great stories. I was timed at this time, so that works perfect.
Yeah, well, you have plenty of time to play with.
We're about 17 right now. Does that sound right?
Now, when we get out of here, we'll be about 18
Okay.
at the end of this break, 17:30 to 18.
Cool. I appreciate it.
That's why in Myrtle Beach, I can tell you that Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group markets your home on a whole different level. Now listen, Blake is so confident in his ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that he guarantees to sell it or he'll buy it himself. If you're moving on, trust Blake to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Blake Sloan online at blakesloan.com, or you can call him at 843-808-SOLD. Start packing.
It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Get in touch with Blake at his office, Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 843-808-SOLD. Here's your hot buyers alert. Blake and his team are working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers, and they're all looking for homes in this area, anywhere from the range of $150,000 to $3.5 million. So if you're thinking of selling, don't wait. Don't sit there and say, well, let's wait for the holidays to be over. No, contact Blake immediately because they're working through the holidays. You should be as well. 843-808-SOLD, 843-808-SOLD. How many people are looking? Latest I checked, I had to write it down because it's such a huge number. 59,634. 59,634. That's how many people are actually on Blake's website actively looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area.
Yes, from everywhere. And that's one thing that, like I said, what's the difference between us and anyone else? I get this question all the time, is that we're spending massive amounts of money driving traffic from all over the globe, really. And so before you ever pick up that phone to call me, I'm spending massive amounts of money to generate buyers before you ever call in because of our business model. That's what makes it so much different. We have about 20 buyer agents. We call them buyer experts, where they're working with buyers at all times. And so anyone that basically, if they ever list their house with us, we already have a database of that amount of people, 59,634 active buyers. And we have a software that'll match it up instantly to that specific buyer who's most likely to buy your home. So it takes an algorithm, reverse engineers all their previous search patterns, and it scores them highest to lowest on who the biggest or best fit for you is. And we're able to do that within hours. And so we don't have just a local reach here, we have a global reach. And that's one of the huge advantages that we have. We literally outspend the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint. So if you list your house pretty much the same cost, you're having someone who outspends the average agent 100 to 1. You can see how that drives more traffic and then sells the properties faster for more money. It's like right now on the site, this is what reminded me of it, just went pending. We have Alton and Jenny Lane there from Seattle, Washington, which is awesome in that regard. They had 60 favorites for their properties and obviously under contract right now with Barrett, which is awesome. We have Carol Jenton from New London, Ohio. We got Sandy Jacobs from Chicago, Illinois. We have a couple other ones here. Carol Jenton, I got her from New London, Ohio. I got one right here. Rutherfordton, North Carolina. I'm not sure where that's at. Alan Bradshaw, he's from that town right there. We got Susan and Joe from Newburgh, New York, which is awesome. So the bottom line is you see they're from all over the place. And so the reality is we got Heather from Smyrna, Georgia. And so these are buyers who are looking to buy here, right? Relocating. We all know that, guess what? Most people go to one place, they start looking for homes, they start going to Google on their phones. So we spend massive amounts of money to drive traffic. And in turn, it gets our clients a huge competitive advantage because of us getting them more exposure. And so the reason we share that is because you can see my problem. Inventory at an all-time low, down 50% just last month alone, while sales are up. And so we need inventory. Anyone you come across in the holidays, or if it's you, friend, relative, aunt, uncle, cousin, like I say, if you like them, don't like them, have them call us. 843-808-SOLD. Save me in your phone as Blake, and just put sold in there, whatever it is. Give that information to us. We're still hustling, still pushing all the way through to the end of the year, which is awesome. And so that's just something our team's super proud of as well. And so if we want really quick, get into a couple of success stories, because our team has been crushing it. Like I mentioned, a lot of agents started taking off in November before Thanksgiving. We have kept that pedal to the metal, which we're super proud of as well. So really cool story. Scott and Kelly, they're building their dream home in Georgia. They need to sell their current home in Myrtle's Inlet, which is super nice. They had it previously listed with a different agent for over 6 months. No luck, nothing but empty promises, massive frustration. Kelly went online to find someone to get the results. Found hundreds of reviews that we had there. Obviously, are positive, great reviews. We came in, designed a custom marketing plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality tour, which is huge right now during COVID. Drove massive buyer traffic. With a couple weeks, had an offer for Scott and Kelly at 98% of asking price. Now they're able to move on to Georgia with a maximum dollar in their pocket, which is cool. Another one too, Henry and Debbie are purchasing a new home. They need to sell their current home for top dollar and quickly so they can obviously get the new one. We call that the delicate dance, right? You're building one or buying one, you got to sell yours. We're very good at that dance. So we came in. They thankfully heard about us with Barbara Corcoran on Shark Tank. They called us. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched global marketing blitz, professional photos, drove massive traffic. Within 1 week, we had 4 offers in their property. And now they can seamlessly move in their new property without having to worry about, losing equity, and they got maximum dollar, which is super, super cool there as well. And so we've seen both sides of the coin lately, which has been great. We had another great story from Brandon and our team. Mr. and Mrs. Banks were renting a house in Asheville, North Carolina, when the owner came and said they're selling the house, gave them 30 days to vacate. The problem is they're in their mid-80s. They never thought they were going to move again. They came down here. We're calling a couple of agencies. No one would call them back. Hence what I was talking about earlier with the business model. We called right back, got with them, got their needs, and got them an amazing deal, $25,000 off asking price. They paid $130 to appraise at $165. And so bottom line is our team has been pushing it like crazy. I just had another one. It's a really cool story, but this guy, Greg, had a property, rental property, was tired of dealing with it. Wasn't sure what to do. Had an investor who gave him a lowball offer. We came in and said, look, man, I can get you way more money than you think you can if you let us do our system here. Launched, it had 2 offers at full asking price within 12 hours. And so a lot more money he thought. And so we're seeing that happen a lot lately, where people are using online data, and the online data is not as reliable as it used to be because the market's moving so quick, right? You need to have someone who's in the trenches that can help you speculate a little bit to see, okay, how far can I push this to get the most amount of money, which is something I think that's super important to do because that's what we've been doing for our clients. And so again, success is in the details. We live by this saying in our office called details matter, especially when the market's hot. So don't cost yourself, $5, $10, $15, $20,000 by just not going with someone who's involved, who is understanding what's happening in the marketplace right now, because it's moving faster than ever. So how much time we got? Cool. I want to get to this really cool story that I was noticing. That just Myrtle Beach has really seen this. It's a national article that came out, and it just based on a lot of studies. And the title is How Remote Work Can Power Your Vacation Home Sale, right? And so I started reading into it, and we've seen this a lot where a lot of the major corporations, especially in the big cities, are allowing their employees to work remotely, right? And so what you're seeing is it just talks about this national report from this company called the Gray Corporation, but it said this year the opportunity to work remotely has increased demand for vacation homes, right? You're seeing that obviously, but it had some national stats which are interesting. It just said buyers taking advantage of the fact that working from home might be something someplace other than their primary residence, the beach, the mountain, somewhere in between. And it said sales in vacation home counties increased 48% on average year over year. In the third quarter, right, 81% of vacation home counties saw year-over-year sales increase. Obviously, we're one of those because we're right in the middle between obviously New York and Florida. It's a perfect place where people can still get back home to see family, right? And so we even see a lot of times where people go to Florida and they move halfway back to us. We have a lot of clients. Like if we ever get anybody from Florida, it's usually someone who was up north. They went to Florida. It's too far, so they come halfway back, right? And so that's just something that's important there to do. It just talks about vacation homes are selling super quick right now. In September, 68% of vacation homes sold in less than a month. Historically, 30% sell that quickly in the history, right? Going back, home prices are rising. Obviously, in the third quarter, prices in vacation home counties rose about 32% year over year. And so that's just something that's crazy to think about. Now, you want to combine that with kind of what's happening across the market, right? All-time low interest rates again, right? Inventory being super low. And so that was just something that I was talking about. Another national article that I brought that I thought was really kind of important to us right now, because I get this question a lot. Should I wait to the first year? What should I do? We do have to move. And so the title is Why It Makes Sense to Sell Your Home This Holiday Season. It just kind of broke down some of the similar stuff of what's happening. But the main factor here was it basically says the latest existing home sales report from the National Association of Realtors shows inventory of houses for sale has dropped to an astonishing all-time low. Sounds familiar, right? Same thing we're seeing. As of now, it sits at 2.5 months of inventory at the current sales pace. And it says here, historically, a 6-month supply is necessary for a normal to neutral market. And so you can see the problem, right? We're experiencing the same exact thing here where our months of supply is actually 2.3 right on the dot. And so you're seeing that same exact thing. We're a little bit below the national average. And so that's just something we're seeing there as well. And the bottom line is what we've seen on top of that here is that people are moving from other areas to Myrtle Beach, even during the holidays, trying to get here before next year. They're getting set up for the year. Like I said, our team's been going, really all day, every day, all the way through these holidays, and we're still selling a lot. And so if you know anyone out there, reach out to us, give us a call. And how much time we got? 1 minute? We're going to share one thing that's been amazing for us is selling properties virtually. We've literally sold about 2 to 3 a week close recently of people who have not seen it until they come down here to close it or closing via mail using our technology. And so if you're concerned about COVID and the dangers of it, we have real-time technology. They can do a virtual reality walkthrough. They can literally walk through your house online, look up, look down, look around, look at the floor, and help that make sure you're protected. And we have a lot of money flowing in from out of town. So if you want to know more about that, reach out and give us a call for sure. Always. So that's my second biggest challenge really, is that we have so many leads, so many opportunities. We just need people that can hustle at the level and the speed we want to. If you're looking to level up your career, if you're a listener in real estate, reach out to our office. We're doing a class in January called Success School. And we're really going to add to the team because we're still growing. Our team just this week crossed 500 homes sold for 2020 already as well.
Wow, that's amazing. So being a part of that team would be an awesome achievement, but you got to be the right person. You're not going to know unless you get in touch with Blake or his office at 843-808 sold. Make sure you get in touch with the office. Like I said, that is the phone number. If you're looking it up, Googling it, make sure you get the right place. Sloan Realty Group. Look that up. The phone number 843-808 sold, or go online to blakesloan.com. Blake, great show. We'll talk again.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you again next week. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan.
Selling your home doesn't have to be filled with drama or having to pay hidden fees. And your friend Sean Hannity here to tell you, as an active investor, I firmly believe in working with the smartest local agents who sell homes in high volume. Prepare your home to create the most demand, but it does go on the market to sell for the highest price. And don't fill your life with drama while you wait for your home to sell. When I want to know what's happening, there's only one agent I call. I'm talking about Blake